When you say project,
Mhm.
do you mind being more explicit?
Yeah, so they don't, obviously they don't call us abductees or experiencers or anything. They call us projects. They actually distinctively use that word project. So it's not like there's no concept of dating or marriage or anything like that on board. There's not even like a concept of like the nuclear family or anything. It's one big orphanage up there. Obviously, the hybrids, they understand who they like, you know, brought life to, but there's no any kind of like, oh, this is my child kind of thing. Or it's, if it is, it's very subtle. But I think they're taught not to like get too interpersonal with their children, their offspring. Um, but then they're basically assigned certain people to basically consistently see over time, and they call these projects. And that what's interesting is they do very extensive like grooming of their projects. So it's not too different from us having pets. And I hate to put it that way because it's really disturbing, but it's basically like they perceive ownership, and so they spend a lifetime, quote unquote, grooming their projects to behave in the way that they would prefer. And if a project, because I'm very uncooperative on board, so if a project is uncooperative, other hybrids, they're not going to look at me and blame me for the problem. They're looking at the hybrid and they're basically saying, you're incompetent. Like, you cannot handle this project. There was a lot of that going on.
So the project not is not just a reproductive project; it's a psychological one. When you say
Yeah,
grooming, you're
social.
talking about obedience,
Yes.
or yeah.
Yeah, social, psychological, and it's probably just a way to because if you think of it this way, if they like have the grays and mantas are really like, to me, like they're the leaders. If they have these hybrids just visiting random people, then there's no strong association. And so I think that their intention with making sure that the hybrid sees this project time and time again is to create this authoritative association. And so the projects is probably more likely to concede with someone they know, and are visited frequently than just some random people. Like, and there's times that I've been like visited by a random hybrid I didn't know, and I was less because I didn't know his behavior. And typically it's men that deal with me, but didn't know his behavior or anything. So I was just like more rambunctious. I'm already rambunctious, but yeah, so I think there's a reason why they consistently have pairings like that, just to maintain order, basically.
Do you have the feeling that they're in over their heads with the hybrids, as in they
That's a
don't
good question.
really know?
Yeah, I think they're kind of, but not really, because they do eventually maintain some sort of order. They have like telepathic kind of, they have social pressures. Like if a hybrid is disloyal, they're going to be punished. And there was actually one incident where the security guy, I was just up to no good, so he was getting blamed for the problems, obviously. And he told me like, the mantids, they can remotely cause incredible amount of pain. And so I think pain is used as a punishment system for them to keep them in line. So I think they are kept in line to some extent, but then they're allowed certain freedoms, and that might go like play into like them behaving a little better if they're allowed a little more freedom, because that's just, it's human behavior. Like, just look at ourselves, if we're too restricted, we're gonna go ape shit. Like, yeah.
Amy, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
So, Amy, this whole idea, and to me, it's just such a reach, that these things that we're anthropomorphizing them, and I say we're not anthropomorphizing enough, because they are so close to us. So we have the mantids and the tall grays and the little grays, and they're creating hybrids from them and us. What does that tell us? They are like us, and these hybrids come out.
Very
And
integrated. Yeah.
exactly. And this idea that they cannot communicate, they are capable of very explicit a communication. And so it's frustrating for me to hear people in this community throw out these ideas that are just simply not true. And again, I'm not saying every single NHI out there is all of this.
Right.
What I'm saying is the breeding program, these beings that are more physical, the metaphysical beings that are interacting with us regularly, this is what they're doing. This is what they're up to. And I'm not saying it's every single NHI in the entire universe. I'm saying that this breeding program that is going